Arr, it's Talk Like a Pirate Day. Well, actually, it's tomorrow, but since I'm not videotaping tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about it today. So it's actually fairly a newish holiday, which I think is so fun. There were two guys, John Bauer and Mark Summers from Albany, Oregon, that had kind of an insider joke about Talk Like a Pirate. And eventually they thought this was pretty funny, so they went in 2002 and sent a note to Dave Barry about it, who also thought that it would make up just a terrific holiday. So Talk Like a Pirate Day is September 19th, and that's on Sunday. So make sure you convert everything to pirate talk. I think you can probably go on the internet and find a word conversion, matey. So fun. I like fun things like that. You have to have fun in life. So today is actually another one of those newish things. Several years ago, I think Moda started it, is Jelly Roll Day, is the third Saturday of September. And as always, I am not doing it because most of the time I would be out on the road teaching on this day or in the car or something. So I have, since it ever started, never been home. Last year I broke both my wrists. So wasn't sewing a jelly roll then, and this year I'm working on a book. Not sewing a jelly roll today, but if you are, these jelly rolls are fabulous. There's lots of free patterns online, lots of books with them. And so, you know, we are going to be sewing a little bit later in the month the wreath pattern, which is based off a jelly roll by my friend Bev McCulloch of Flamingo Toes. So we are going to be doing one, just not today. So that's the way it is. So I have to have a goal in 2022 that I celebrate and sew jelly rolls. I have not to remember because it's never been on my radar since I've never been able to do it. Okay, I changed the quilt out. Ta-da! So I went and I have not put the quilts up, changed them in my living room yet, but this was on the stack, so I thought it's one that's big enough to fit here, long enough. And it is, I think we did it last year or the year before from the Perfect 10. So this book is all patterns using a layer cake, which are 10-inch squares, so you could make your own layer cake or, you know, buy one. This has fabulous spiderweb quilting with spideys and little moons. It's so cool. And then I don't remember whether I mentioned this border fabric because I had pulled it out, the border fabric, and then I couldn't remember what quilt it's on. It's on this one. That's what I had leftovers. And this quilt in the book is called the Birthday Cake Quilt. So there it is. And then I added a border to it. And I did not do, I may just have a white inner border to go with it. I love it. And I'm just going to leave it up here for a while. And I'll put other things up in my living room. Hopefully today. Maybe I'll do that today. I don't know. We'll see. All right, I have a little mail call. First, I want to tell Patsy that I got your pretty card. Thank you so much. And then I have another card that came from Samantha in Australia. Look at the birds. Look at them. Aren't they cute? So she sent me a bunch of different, first she found some Alice in Wonderland squares and something, so she sent those to me. And then she sent me some pieces of fabric with Australian flowers and birds. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? So, love, look, there's, oh, look at the koala. So sweet. Thank you very much. Mwah. Love you. Okay. Yesterday, also, on my website on Friday, I did my word of the year, but I didn't talk about it in yesterday's video because that was kind of focused. So I thought I'd just say, if you did not go to my blog to read about the word of the year, I'll link it down below again. So my word is, I've come to the realization I've hit that point in the year where I've used that word enough. My word is do. And because I picked do as my word back in like December when both my wrists were still not real usable, and it was very frustrating. Life was very, very frustrating because I could not do things, a lot of things. And so that was a focus word for me. Okay, so now they're much better, and I am doing lots of things. And so do isn't really a word that I need to focus and work on anymore. So we have a couple more months of the year, and I may not really pick a word. What I might just do is check in monthly, each month still, and just, you know, check in with life, check in with what's going on. If I happen to think of a word that I've been using, I'll talk about it. But that's just the way it is with Word of the Year. You don't have to have it the whole year. You can change it through the year. Like sometimes people have a word for maybe 2 months and then change it. You know, whatever works for you. It's not a golden rule of any kind. It's just a neat thing to have, a focus, if you like that kind of thing. So there you go. I graduated from the word do. I've been doing a lot. So I want to talk about another set of fabric for the happy everything, and not really a set of fabric, a concept, because Melody asked this. She said she was thinking about doing each of the blocks. Okay, this is the happy everything we're doing from my holiday book, which means all the quilts in here are holiday oriented and have different kind of colorways, which you can see on the front. So, you know, here's very Americana, then you got the Christmas stockings, you got fall leaves and fall colors, you know, Valentine's and that really crisp red. So these are all different kind of colors. And if you are going to do the layout and make each of the blocks like a really carrot orange and a red, white, and blue and a Christmassy, you know, Christmas stuff with, the fall colors, you know, those are all sort of different color families. You wouldn't necessarily normally put them all in the same quilt. So I'm going to show you just some thoughts on how to do that if that's the direction you want to go. First, we need to bring back those 2 quilts of mine that I showed you where I used sashing color to hold together different things. So one is the Christmas quilt. And the Christmas quilt is definitely red sashings. It's primarily red, and that is key. Key to getting that contained is that whatever you're using in the sashing needs to say predominantly one color, not a bunch of colors, and predominantly things that stay the same tone. Not like, you know, like if you were using green, which is the next quilt, not like light green and dark green. Like keep them all the same. So let's look at the green one. Now the green one is very much like this because I took blocks, these house blocks, and I used fabrics for kind of the month that I did the house blocks because there were 12 months. So, you know, some of them have jelly beans, some have Santa fabric, or they have like lobsters on it. I mean, it's this crazy stuff. I think there's 2 key things to make that work. One is your background needs to, on all of them, keep the background pretty much the same, either the same fabric or the same color. Like, so if you're going to use like a white background, use all the same white. If you're going to use like a light blue, use all the same light blue. Or if you're going to use several different creams, be sure they read very much the same, because that gives it cohesiveness to all the other colors. Then the sashings. Now there's not as much sashing in that green quilt, and the greens are all pretty much the same. So let's take a look here. I'm going to get my green bin out, and I want to show you what I mean, pretty much all the same. So here, like on this one, what pops out? That, right? So if I pull that out, how does this row look? It's pretty cohesive. They're all fairly light green, and you don't have, you know, I'm sure there's a few pieces in here, but for the most part, that's all fairly light green. Look at the other side. This has mediums, lights, darks. You know, this will not be as cohesive for the sashing as this side will be. So you can see just by putting all your fabrics together how they really stay tight and the same color. So they're all reading very similar. Now another way, let me just put this on the floor. Another way to think about it, and I brought here's some fabrics that you would use in like holiday things, right? You would just have all of these stuff, you know, like different, here's like 2 different kinds of greens, because this green might be going with the carrots, this green might be going with the Christmas. There's some peach, which might go with the blue, might not, but you have all these different colors. So another sashing, let me put the pattern here again, another sashing idea would be to go with some black and whites. So I just pulled this Tula Pink line work, because one of the interesting things about it is that she has like this fabric here, which has got lots of dots. Oh, it's like makes your eyes wiggle, doesn't it? But there's black and white with dots of color. And so if you were pulling all these different colors together and did a lot of black and white, that will keep it all tied together, or just black even, with just little pops of these black and whites in it. That will make all those blocks shine, plus the backgrounds that you use in these blocks keep them very, this very much the same color. So don't go using a tan and then a cream and then a yellow and then a pink. Don't introduce all those other colors. Keep the backgrounds for the individual blocks a similar color for everything. And if you do that, it will work out. It will work out. I would then, though, wait for your setting. I wouldn't start like doing the setting as you went along. I would be sure you have quite a few blocks, just because you need that visual, because you need the blocks with all those colors so that you can see how they look together with whatever sashing color you're picking. If you just have one block and you start putting sashing on it, it may not be the perfect sashing color. You might decide, if you had more blocks, that a different color would be better. So there's another little tip for that. Lots of tips. So this is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Arr, matey. Yes. And if you happen to have a pirate quilt, you can show it over on my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. If you are making jelly rolls today, jelly roll quilts, jelly rolls, if you're making real jelly rolls, I'm coming over to eat one. But if you're making a jelly roll quilt, share that. Or if you've made a jelly roll quilt, share that in the group. It'll be fun. Okay, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Have a great day.